Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back. Today, you know the news. Troy Weaver being out as general manager of the Detroit Pistons. We're going to talk about his tenure a little bit, things that happened during his tenure, maybe, and the reasons why he got fired, as well as the future of the Pistons with Trajan Langdon, possible replacement for Troy Weaver at the general manager position. No face cam today, just didn't work out, but with that being said, guys, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about general manager Troy Weaver's tenure. It's no secret that this Pistons rebuild has not exactly gone to plan. With a 74-244 record with Troy Weaver and countlessly falling from the first overall pick projections to 5th, things were not going well. And Troy Weaver, with his draft picks, especially in 2020, having 3 picks in the first round, getting Killian Hayes, Sadiq Bey, and Isaiah Stewart, only one of them still on the roster, and you didn't really cash out on any assets with Sadiq Bey, and we know where Killian Hayes is as we stand. With that being said, Cade Cunningham was the biggest asset acquired during his time, and Cade Cunningham will still be the franchise player going forward. But, with that being said, besides the draft luck of getting the first pick that year, we've got horrible draft luck, and yes, that's not exactly a thing that you can truly fault Troy Weaver on, but there's the luck that a general manager has that is kind of acquired in this point. A lot of GMs have good luck, and that is how they really get a lot of these great players. Yes, we didn't get the luck out and didn't get a Victor Wembanyama. No. We didn't get a Paolo Banchero. No. And like this, you're falling to 5 and missing out on the chance to take Alex Sarr. Generational prospects have been in these drafts, and unfortunately we have not had the luck to take them. Troy Weaver overall still did not put himself in a great position. Trades after trades were not great value. I mean, we can talk about the ones even at this season. The deadline moves with Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Livers, and second-round picks for 1 month of Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala. That's not exactly that's not great value. Giving Troy a little bit of credit, one of his better moves was the asset management of Jeremy Grant, bringing him in and giving him a bigger role, and then turning him into a 2025 first-round pick from Milwaukee that he would eventually trade with the Hornets to acquire starting center Jalen Duren. I'm going to humor the Troy defenders. That being said, they would like to say that the cookie jar exactly had other hands in it. Troy wasn't the sole decision maker, and that maybe picks like Killian Hayes, Monty Williams as the head coach was not exactly his decision making. And you know what? That might be fair. But there's a lot of things that Troy came up short in. And also, the fact is, this season with Cade taking a jump again and showing he can be a true all-star, and probably could have been, if a team was better, in all-star talks for making the all-star team. But with that being said, the team had a worst record in franchise history, breaking the record for the longest losing streak. I understand that Troy Weaver did not have the best scenario, but at the same time, you cannot continue with this type of stuff, and you cannot have the worst record in franchise history and continue with that general manager. Lastly, talking about Troy Weaver. I know that he's obviously a very disliked person by Pistons fans, and I'm not someone that disagrees with that, and I'm not someone that particularly likes Troy. But with that being said, I want to say that Troy, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he can find another position like the scouting position at OKC, or something that he can really find in his strong suits, and I hope him nothing but the best, even though things did not work out in Detroit. One thing that's kind of funny with the situation is Weaver apparently was offered a off-site scouting role to remain with Detroit, and he declined it. I'm not surprised. He can go somewhere else in the NBA and probably get that same role. Tom Gores probably has a friendship with him. Same way they did with Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey was fired really as a head coach, but was moved to the front office because they wanted to still do right by him, and as he was very cordial with the organization, they wanted to do right by Dwayne Casey. But with that being said, I'm not surprised Troy Weaver declined this. A big thing since this has all been going on is the Pistons apparently are in serious talks with Pelicans executive Michael Blackstone to replace Troy as general manager. Well, Trajan Langdon, he was from New Orleans, and no surprise that he wants to get another executive from there, a guy that he knows, a guy that he trusts, and I wouldn't be surprised. But I would not be surprised that Trajan Langdon is likely the man taking the spearhead of this rebuild. I don't think that he's going to really be relinquishing any control. Honestly, I wouldn't blame him. We've talked about it on the Locked In with Drew and West podcast plenty of times. The time is now. You need to fix things, and you need to start winning with Cade, or things will be going south fast. And Cade might not be a Piston much longer if you continue to have this just waste seasons. On to Monty Williams. I believe Monty Williams will likely be returning or be retained as the Pistons head coach. I do not think that he is going to be fired or anything like that. Monty Williams did not get an NBA roster this year to coach. He had whatever you want to call this Pistons team. This team was a mess and was poorly constructed, and that's one of the reasons why Troy Weaver is no longer here. With that being said, Monty Williams, of course, was not a perfect coach. The man did not do very good things. Of course, starting Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey for more than half of the season, it felt like. And then also the just constant errors that I feel like watching these games of poor time management, letting runs go on for too long before calling a timeout, whatever it was. Coaching errors that honestly the highest paid coach at the time was not supposed to be making. But the amount of money being paid does have a value to the point where Tom Gores likely did not want to get rid of him. Of course, Tom Gores has opened up the door for Trajan Langdon to do whatever he pleases, but I feel as if Monty Williams will likely be retained. Also, not to be forgotten, Monty Williams initially was in talks about seriously taking a year off from coaching. He had off-the-court things going on with family that he wanted to handle, and Tom Gores gave him an offer that he couldn't turn down. So with that being said, maybe that's just a poor year, but not able to truly prepare, a year with a lot of stress on him, and now he can go into this year with an open mind, a lot of clarity, a lot of cleaned up things, and also possibly a more improved roster. I am going to be completely open-minded this season with Monty Williams. I am not going to be as harsh on him as I was this season. Of course, if he continues to do things, I will likely be calling him out, and we will see that on the podcast and in videos. But with that being said, guys, this team is, I think, looking up. Of course, it's hard to look down when you're on a franchise low with record. But with that being said, the loss of Troy Weaver will be a benefit to this organization, and I think that the new people in power, Trajan Langdon and whoever he turns into the general manager, will at least have a shot to turn this around. $60 million in cap, the 5th overall pick, and assets that can be moved. I think you were able to turn this roster into something comfortable and hopefully a team that the city can respect next season. I'm far from saying that we need to be making the playoffs, and I'm far from even saying that we need to be in the play-in. What I'm saying is a team that is respectable, a team that is going to be close to 30 wins or something of that manner. A team that is not what was this year. This year was an embarrassment, and it was very hard to be a Pistons fan this year. We went through a lot, and it shows the dedication of Pistons fans. Shout out to all the Pistons fans who were showing out during the season. It was rough, I'm not going to lie. But LCA had a lot of electrifying games and electrifying moments from the fans even with these terrible losing streaks and terrible season. But overall, guys, let me know down below. What did you think about Troy Weaver being fired? Do you think they should have had one more year, one more off season, or do you think that this is exactly what should have been happening? A new direction, a new phase with Trajan Langdon. And overall, what do you think about this move? I know a lot of people think that Troy Weaver did not get to spend his cap space, but he had the cap space that he kept pushing out into the future. I can't really say that Troy Weaver himself didn't put himself in a poor position. But with that being said, guys, check out episode 13 of the Locked In Drew and Wes podcast. It was a great podcast. I want to give Wes a shout out. For sure, he did great. And I can't wait to shoot episode 14. Please comment down below and let us know what we should be talking about in episode 14. Anything specific, anything that we have not covered. But with that being said, guys, have a great day. Stay safe and peace.